with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the main got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's the local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go. Real Talk Memphis, even with the theme in the background, is on the radio. It's Monday evening, the 24th day of January 2022. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk Memphis. I am your humble host, Chip Washington. Very happy to have you with us for the ride for the next 60 minutes or so. Gang's all here, and we are fired up and ready to go, and hopefully we have a good show broadcast for you this evening. You know, we work hard to try to bring you a little entertainment and also a little information as well, and I think we have a nice guest list to be able to do all of that. We'll get into that in just a few minutes, but I'm hoping that since we last visited 7 days ago, you've had a pretty good week. It looks like the Omicron variant locally here is starting to slowly plateau, and plateauing means it's getting to its top limit, and then it's going to start to slowly work its way down. The numbers are starting to show a decrease, but it doesn't mean you let your guard down by any stretch of the imagination. We'll get into all of that in just a minute in news and notes, but as we always do at the start of the show, you're always wondering how it is you can get this fine piece of radio broadcasting. Well, I am here to help you out. You can do it a number of ways. We are on live right now, 91.7 on your FM dial, WYXR. We are also live on the station website, which is WYXR.org. You can listen live right now. We're also on the TuneIn app, TuneIn. Go to it, put in WYXR in the search, and you'll be able to catch us. And we do this little deal called Facebook Live every week as well, where you can watch us while we are doing it. And we are also going to be posting these shows live once again on YouTube. So it's always a lot of different ways to catch us. And we are a podcast. And so as a podcast, when they post the show tomorrow afternoon sometime, you will be able to go to wherever it is you get your podcast. Very good. Again, thanks for stopping in tonight. We appreciate you. And don't think I don't notice that folks are starting to kind of catch on to RTM a bit, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Share, subscribe. I'm missing one. What is it? Follow, share, subscribe. Yeah. See, I had to check with DJ Lola about how to do all of that. So before we even get into it, you know how we like to celebrate you and that trip around the sun you made for another 365 years called a birthday. But before we announce you, there's a guy riding around out here on skates, and they have like blue lights on the bottom of them. That just kind of distracted me. Anyway, hit it, Lola. He's riding around out here in Crosstown Concourse, and his wheels are lighting up this fluorescent blue. Kind of interesting. Anyway, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday is on this day going out to Brenda Clark. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sean Fawcett. It is your birthday. Guy Hughes is celebrating today, as is John Washington III. Teresa Greene, happy birthday to you. Peter Chauncey, happy birthday to you. And Valtricia McKinney, Patricia McKinney, actually. I think that's how you pronounce it. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday. And also, I want to acknowledge not only the month of January birthdays, but this week, there's a few I want to mention. Bishop Bob Midget is celebrating a birthday later on this week. Also, Mitch Freeman. Ron Olson, big radio guy, Ron Olson, is celebrating his birthday. And a longtime friend of mine and one of the best TV photogs in the business. Her name is Janice Bridges, and Janice is celebrating her birthday a bit later on this week as well. So to each and every one of you, I say happy birthday, happy upcoming birthday, and happy month of January birthdays, all that good stuff. And we will see you once again next year as we all make another trip around the sun, or at least I hope that for you. Thank you very much, Lola. All right, kids, let's get into some news and notes, shall we? What do you think? I mentioned it a minute ago. It looks as if, fingers crossed, Omicron is starting to plateau. And we are seeing a definite shift in numbers in terms of the new cases and the 7-day average. Even the pediatric cases, while still high, are starting to come down a bit as well. So, yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed, but let's not take our foot off the gas. If you have not been vaccinated, you need to do that. And you also need to, if you have been vaccinated and you qualify to get your booster, you need to do that. Anybody 5 and up can get shots of any of the particular vaccines that are available. And speaking of that, this Saturday, actually Friday and Saturday, the Tennessee Southwest Community College campus in the Whitehaven area is going to be open once again for vaccinations starting this Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So once again, if you haven't done so already and you live in that part of town, they are once again opening themselves up as a campus, and we appreciate that. To offer vaccinations. Of course, you can always go to vaccine.gov to find out where you can get your vaccination. And, the testing situation, the government is sending out testing kits. All you have to do is go to the website and put in your information. They're free, and they will send them to your home. It'll take somewhere in the vicinity of 7 to 12 days to get it. And it is the one where you swab the inside of your nose. You should have a test result sometime within a 30-minute time period. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We like things like that. In other news, I know many of you heard about the horrific accident last week, which took the life of a Memphis police officer, 32-year-old, what's his name, Correll Jones. Was struck by another vehicle. He was on duty, 2:30 in the morning, and unfortunately, the driver of the other vehicle passed as well, died as well. So, hearts and prayers go out to not only the Memphis Police Department, his family for his loss, but also for the other victim in this accident as well. The Memphis Police Department and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation joined together, and this was big news yesterday, to create an operation to arrest men who were involved in human trafficking. They made 9 arrests yesterday, setting up deals for these guys to come to a hotel on Mud Island, by the way, and they arrested 9 folks and a woman on charges relating to human trafficking in the Mid-South. Officers were posing as 16-year-old girls to set up these appointments, and all these guys came, and when they got there, they had the surprise, not one that they were expecting. So 9 folks arrested in terms of that. Now, a lot of you out here like to go to breakfast, like to go out to eat and enjoy yourself. You have a good time and all that kind of stuff. I know many of you were probably fans of the Blue Plate Cafe. 20 years in the business, they closed their doors yesterday for the final time ever. The owner of that restaurant, Mike Richmond, he died last October of cancer. And his daughter and the family was trying to, keep it running. They tried to run it as long as they could. But yesterday was the last day, and there were a lot of tears, a lot of emotion. Anytime somebody's been around 20 years and it becomes, a favorite watering hole or a favorite eating spot, it was breakfast and a lunch place, they closed their doors. It's always sad to hear that, but they left us with a lot of good memories as well. In sports, the Titans, the Green Bay Packers, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are all now out of the playoffs. And so now you have 4 teams left. You have the Rams versus the 49ers, and you have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And already the wagering has begun, and everybody's picking the Kansas City Chiefs to become the champions of the NFL again. But if you saw those games, absolutely amazing. Every single game came down to the very last second. It was some good TV watching for sure. And one final thing in sports. Last week, Penny Hardaway, coach of your Memphis Tigers, after a rather humiliating loss to SMU, post-game press conference, got a little emotional, got a little irritated and upset, used some words that we normally don't use at press conferences because he was a bit upset at some of the questions that were being asked. Well, he did apologize for that. Cooler heads prevail. After 24 hours, after a loss like that, you have to come back down to yourself and say, look, I'm the head coach. I'm responsible for what goes on the floor, and we move on from there. Yesterday, they played Tulsa, and they had a double-digit lead going into the half and all the way up to pretty much close to the end of the game. They did win, but they won by 2. I don't really care. A point, 2 points. A win is a win, so we'll take it. Go, Tigers, go. That wraps it up for news and notes. When we come back, and by the way, I didn't share this with you, our guests tonight are Sally Heinz. She is the executive director and president of MIFA. She's going to join me in just a few minutes to talk a little bit about what they're up to and what 2022 is going to look like for them. A little bit later on in the show, Marcellus Harper. He is the executive director of Collage Dance, and he's going to talk to us about the resurgence of dance, not only for the young ladies, but for some of these young men of color as well. They are doing an amazing job, and they have a beautiful facility down there on Sam Cooper and Tillman. You can't help but see it if you pass it, if you're going up Sam Cooper. And a bit later on in the broadcast, we are going to talk with the longtime news anchor from Fox 13. His name is Darrell Greene. Known him for a long time, and he is going to join us to talk about the face of news at Fox 13 and how things have changed in the last decade or so. But before we get into that, how about we get into the show? Yes, that's a good idea. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am your humble host, Chip. You know who you are. We'll take our first break. We're coming right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
The Brooks is open in Overton Park, home to Memphis art collection since 1916. The Memphis Brooks Museum of Art holds the largest collection of world art in the region, with more than 10,000 works spanning 5,000 years of art and cultures. Remember, every Wednesday is free and open until 8 p.m. They are a proud sponsor of WYXR. For more information about the museum and their exhibitions, visit brooksmuseum.org. You belong at the Brooks.
The Orpheum and WYXR invite you to an album listening party to celebrate the Memphis premiere of the Tony and Grammy Award-winning musical Hadestown. On January 28th from 6 to 8 p.m., stop by the WYXR HQ for a complimentary show-themed cocktail and listen to the original broadcast recording featuring music by celebrated singer-songwriter Anais Mitchell. RSVP at WYXR.org.
Memphis Listening Lab proudly supports WYXR. They provide a curated collection of music and music history, a forum for music-related talks and performances, and a music education, appreciation, and experimentation space located in Crosstown Concourse. The lab is open Tuesday through Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can find out more information on their Instagram page at Memphis Listening Lab or on their website at memphislisteninglab.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. I'm your humble host, Chip Washington. Very happy to have you with us. As I said earlier, the gang is all here. Lola's on the board. Jack is here. Nicole is here as well. Ready to take this show off in flight, so to speak. My first guest is not a stranger to this broadcast, nor is she a stranger to the Mid-South community, because of where she works and because of the fine works that this organization does. I'm very pleased to welcome back to Real Talk Memphis, Sally Heinz. She's the executive director of MIFA. And Sally, Happy New Year, and I'm glad you're back.
Happy New Year, Chip. It's great to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely that. So, I know that it has been, I think the last time you and I talked about how challenging it's been navigating this thing, called COVID, not once, not twice, but now maybe 3 different times. But as we get into this new year, it looks like maybe we've seen a peak and we're slowly going to start to descend, which is good news for everybody. But I wanted to get you back to talk a little bit about the challenges that you faced in 2021, and as you look forward into 2022, what we can expect from your fine organization.
Right. Well, thanks for that. Yes, certainly, the challenges were great. And one of the things that we have really seen is how the needs in our community were just exacerbated during these last few years.
Right.
But even before that, we knew that our community, unfortunately, has a high degree of senior food insecurity. Mm-hmm. And the pandemic did not create that. It was here before, and unfortunately, it's still with us.
Right.
So according to the most recent State of Senior Hunger study that was done, I think in 2017, Memphis has the highest senior food insecurity rate of any large metropolitan area in our country. And we just don't want that to stand. I don't want that, in 5 more years, I don't want Memphis to be known for that.
Right.
So at MIFA, we are really focused on what we can do to make a difference there.
So, having said that, and you're speaking truth, and we all know that Memphis is has its challenges, to be sure, poverty, food insecurity, and things like that. I know when you and I talked offline a little bit, you were talking about some of the, besides some of the things that you do on a daily basis to help Mid-Southerners, some other things that you were looking at doing as we get into a new year. Can you talk to us about that?
Right. So what we are doing is we are launching the MIFA Senior Hunger Growth and Innovation Fund.
Okay.
And we have really big ideas with what we want to do with this fund, and specifically with our Meals on Wheels program over the next 3 to 4 years. Mm-hmm. One, there is a waiting list of seniors in our community who want this service. So we want to eliminate that waiting list. Nobody should have to wait to be part of the Meals on Wheels program.
Right.
We want to recruit volunteers to support the growth. We'll need more volunteers to support serving more. We want to invest in staff and equipment. We might need freezers and ovens and kitchen capacity. And then what I think is really exciting is we want to explore innovations. Can we partner with hospitals? Can we partner with healthcare clinics to help their patients? Recycled packaging, we'd love to upgrade to that and help, our environment. Maybe electric vehicles. Our dreams are big, Chip.
Yeah. It sounds like it. And for those of you who are just joining us, I'm speaking with Sally Heinz. She is the executive director of the fine organization we know as MIFA. And you're obviously very targeted. And you mentioned a minute ago about the waiting list for seniors, in terms of the food issue here. But there are a lot of very unique challenges. But the one thing that I've noticed about the Mid-South and all of the partnering organizations and even governmental entities is that everybody wants to get involved. I don't think there are too many people that are going to say, no, we don't like that idea, or no, we're not willing to help. I'm sure that you have brought a lot of folks around the table who have some good ideas in terms of how we reach these goals. Am I correct?
That's right. We have a very strong board who's helping with us, and the Aging Commission of the Mid-South is a strong partner and wanting to make a difference here. And Chip, I just want to say, you're talking about people who want to make a difference.
Right.
Just last week, I think, time is kind of a blur a little bit, but last week when I was at MIFA one day walking in, and there were 3 or 4 members of our fine Memphis Fire Department, and they were there picking up meals to go and deliver. So that's such a wonderful and easy way to help. And you talk about partners in the community who are stepping up to do that. That was great to see.
Now I know you have many volunteers that help your organization, or else you couldn't do what you do on a daily basis. And more are coming all the time. It never ceases to amaze me. And I don't know if that's even a fair word to use, but the generosity and the true can-do, give-back spirit of people in this city. It absolutely is something I would think that could be a model for this entire country, because whenever there's a need in Memphis and Shelby County, and you know that better than I do, that folks step up, and you only have to, if you have to ask once, you'll only have to ask once.
That's right. Like everyone else that you've read in the paper, at the height of the Omicron variant, we had drivers who had to stay home because maybe they were exposed.
Right.
We had volunteers who had to stay home. And so we put out the call a time or two on social media. If anybody can help for these next 2 weeks, we'd love to have you. And, former volunteers or the fire department or whoever it was really stepped up. So we just didn't miss a beat. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I see the growth. I see that you're hiring more folks over there, and a sign of growth, means that clearly not only that there's a need, but that you're doing something right, and that people, I know you talk to a lot of folks, in your organization. Okay, let's talk about some of the things that we see in front of us that are pressing issues of concern. And you laid out a couple of them, but you all do so much more. I mean, a lot of us know about Meals on Wheels and about the food insecurity in terms of the seniors. But I mean, there is so much more to MIFA, the rent assistance. There's a lot of very big programmatics. Can you lay out just some of the programs that, in case people may have forgotten what else it is that MIFA does?
Right. Thank you, Chip, because I have focused on our programs for seniors, but we have just equal programs for families in our community, and we're able to do everything from utility assistance to rent assistance to shelter placement if a family is unfortunately experiencing homelessness, all the way to helping a family find permanent housing, a new place to live.
I mean, the need is tremendous, isn't it? I mean, I know you've been heading this organization for a while, but the need is tremendous, and I don't think there's any shame in saying it, and because it is what it is. I think what matters is we know what it is, but we know now what we need to do to address it. Am I correct?
Right. You're exactly right. I think we've seen it. We can't hide it any longer. But I do think it's positive. A silver lining of the pandemic has been that government agencies and nonprofit agencies and our corporate community, I think, have really come together in a more cohesive way to try to attack these big problems.
And I know that's got to make your job easier. But, once again, for people who want to get involved, for people who want to be a part of the organizations, hey, what can I do to help? What do you need me to do? How do people get in touch with your organization and the phone number, email address, whatever you want to give?
The best place to go is to the website, MIFA.org, and you can easily navigate from either how to make a donation, how to volunteer. We've got several ways to volunteer, Meals on Wheels, but also phone buddies, calling some of our most isolated clients. And that's been a great thing to do during the pandemic because you can do it from home.
I mean, it's convenient and it's easy, and I've been a part of the volunteer effort to deliver meals to seniors, and I got to tell you something, man. These folks out here, the amount of gratitude that they feel, and there's always someone who delivers food. You have a smile on your face because they have a smile on their face seeing you. You got to go home every day feeling pretty good, even in spite of the challenges, I would imagine.
Right. It's the best thing. If you need a lift, if you need to feel good, I tell you, come deliver meals and it'll make your day. You
got that right. Sally Heinz, Executive Director of MIFA, thank you for what you do as an organization, what you mean to the city of Memphis and Shelby County. And listen, you always have an open invitation to Real Talk. Anytime you have something you want to share with this audience, you are absolutely welcome.
Well, thank you so much. I think we'll have a few more things, so we'll be in touch, Chip. And I do have to say, I love driving by the Dance Collective. It is one of my favorite things to do.
Man.
And being able to look in the windows and seeing those young people. So good luck with this next guest. Y'all have some fun.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sally. And you take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon, okay?
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Sally Heinz, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director of MIFA, and we all know what great work MIFA does. And I mean, just really to be affiliated with them and to have them as part of what we do on a daily basis to take care of our folks here in Memphis and Shelby County, nothing better than that. And since she sort of helped me with the tease, when we come back after this next break, I will be speaking with Marcellus Harper. He is the Executive Director of Collage Dance. And yeah, I have a few questions for him. I may even do a little move myself. Anyway, no. I'm Chip. Lola's looking at me like I got 3 heads right now. This is Real Talk Memphis. Next break, right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Russ College is now accepting applications for the fall 2022 semester. Located in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and just minutes away from Memphis, Russ College offers degree programs in business, education, math, science, and much more. Call 662-252-8000, extension 4043 for more details. Russ College hosts its Spring High School Preview Day, February 16, 2022. For more information, it's on our website at russcollege.edu. Russ College, where tomorrow's leaders are students today.
Brought to you by Crosstown Concourse, offering brand new musical experiences like concerts, live score film screenings, record release parties, weekly music pop-ups, and so much more. For more information, visit crosstownconcourse.com/visit.
Russ College is now accepting applications for the fall 2022 semester. Located in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and just minutes away from Memphis, Russ College offers degree programs in business, education, math, science, and much more. Call 662-252-8000, extension 4043 for more details. Russ College hosts its Spring High School Preview Day, February 16, 2022. For more information, it's on our website at russcollege.edu. Russ College, where tomorrow's leaders are students today.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
Hey, and howdy, and welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday, the 24th day of January. Very happy to have you with us, and want to go down the feed here on my Facebook Live and say hey to a few folks. Terry Anderson, cousin, is checking in tonight. Audrey Hill, and my niece, Erica from California, Erica Ransom. She's checking in. Gary Shelton, what's good? Harriet Waters is checking in tonight as well. Sarah Gum is on board, and my good buddy Darrell McLaughlin is watching. And if I missed you, maybe I'll have to scroll up and down here to see if I did or not. But thank you all for tuning us in and checking us out tonight. My next guest is someone who got my interest for two reasons. First of all, I saw a story a couple of weeks ago on this dance group really dedicated to young people of color, boys and girls, and also this brand new studio, state-of-the-art studio that they have down on Sam Cooper and Tillman called Collage Dance. And I'm very happy to have as my next guest, Mr. Marcellus Harper. He is the executive director of Collage Dance. And Marcellus, Happy New Year, and thanks for coming on Real Talk.
Happy New Year to you, Chip, and thank you very much for having me.
Well, look, man, this whole deal you got going on with this Collage Dance is really, really impressive, and it really is. It's a stand out alone kind of a deal. I mean, you're prepping these young people, for a chance at maybe collegiate and even professional artistry as we move forward. But let's back up a little bit. Tell us how long Collage Dance has been around, and especially here in Memphis.
Great question. Well, we are celebrating our 12th year in Memphis. So it's 12 years ago, we launched the school and the professional company, and we're very excited to be here. This very much started out as really, our mission is to inspire the growth and diversity of ballet. So we've been very focused on really using the art form, in particular classical ballet, to really help young people, do better in school, help them improve social outcomes, and also provide a pipeline for kids who have talent to be able to do this professionally.
All those things that you just said are absolutely amazing. Most of the time, and a lot of times, if we're telling the truth, we hear stories about our young people in a negative vein. But you're doing something to start to teach these kids very young, and give them a sense of hope, and give them a sense of a real opportunity at really a limitless opportunity. I mean, a limitless chance to really make themselves something of themselves. And not only that, to be role models for another generation coming up as well. Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the major disadvantages of kids who lived in under-resourced communities, particularly lots of kids of color, is that we are not exposed. And this was true. This was true for me and many of the people that I know, that I grew up with. We're just not exposed to the endless possibilities that exist out there in terms of what are viable paths, what are viable professional paths or viable social paths that we can take. And so what excites me about the work that we do at Collage, it's not just that we are engaging young people with classical ballet, but what we're doing in the process is really helping them to expand their horizons, right, and know that their limits and are that they have fewer limits than they think, and that there are many more opportunities out there for them than maybe what they are exposed to in their day-to-day life.
We are speaking with Marcellus Harper. He is the executive director of Collage Dance. wonderful organization in town. And you really talked about it when you mentioned the word exposed and endless possibilities. Now, when I think of dance, I think of naturally the Dance Theater of Harlem, which is kind of the sort of the preeminent professional organization, I would imagine, for dancers of color. You have really seen an influx, at least for me. You generally think of this type of dance, females, ballerinas and things like that. But there has been a real concerted effort to involve young men in this as well. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, Kevin Thomas is our artistic director, who had a very long and extensive professional career. Talks a lot when we get in front of kids about the history of ballet. And what many kids and what many of us don't know is that ballet actually was created on men, that it wasn't an art form that was created on women. Men were the first ballet dancers.
Is that right? I didn't know
over
that.
400 years ago.
Wow.
And it wasn't until the invention of the point shoe that women kind of, came to the same or were elevated to the same level as men. So a lot of what we try to do is overcome a lot of stigmas, overcome myths, help educate the community on what ballet is, what dance is, and what it's not. And so, when you talk about the Dance Theater of Harlem, you can't have performances, you can't have the Nutcracker, you can't have Swan Lake, you can't have Sleeping Beauty without men. These are stories, and in any narrative, in any story, men are included. And so it just would be incomplete for there not to be representation. And so that's what we try to express. I mean, and it's really as simple as that. It's a very athletic art form. It's not what you think about when you watch a Disney movie. And so a lot of times, even the girls that come to start training with us, we have to dispel a lot of myths for them. They think they're going to come and it's going to be rainbows and unicorns and fairy dust. And it's like, no, get down in a plank and let's get this ad, let's get it's ab work, it's core work, it's strength and agility training. And so it's really about dispelling myths around what ballet is and what it isn't. And we're very grateful to be able to do that work here. Well,
you're teaching structure, you're teaching discipline, and a lot of these young people, as you said, they come into it, seeing what they see in movies and on television. But once they really get into all of this and really understand the fundamentals of what ballet dance is all about, they really see a whole nother world. And what I'm excited about when I see things like this and I hear things like this is not only the ones who are in the program now, but the ones who move on and perhaps become, dancers in college, professional dancers, on Broadway or wherever, that they can reach back and reach back, and pull others and say, look, this has been a wonderful opportunity for me. It can be just as wonderful an opportunity for you. And that in and of itself, to me, is what really sort of changes the parameter.
I agree 1,000%. You said it wonderfully. I don't think I can articulate it any better.
Yeah, I mean, when I drive by, and like I said, when I go home tonight, I'll be driving right by and I see the young ladies, doing their work. But it really teach. It's a very disciplined art form, and in order for it to look good and you to be good, you have to follow that discipline. Now, having said that, as they go through, is it? Please educate me. Is it like, is a course curriculum? Is it a yearly thing? Can they stay as long? I mean, how young and, to what age? Things like that.
Beautiful question. We operate under a unified curriculum. We have formal training programs for dancers starting at 4 years old. We actually start them at 2. We have a creative movement program for dancers who are 2 and 3.
Oh my!
Then we begin our formal training programs, which start at 4, and then they move through a series, and we have 11 programs that they move through, that they matriculate through, and then hopefully for those who have a passion and who are committed, They will graduate and then be able to either attend a college program on scholarship, that's always our goal, and or do this professionally. And we've had students go on to Broadway. We've had students compete in, So You Think You Can Dance, the finals. We have students at Ailey, in college. We have students in San Francisco, and so in New York. So, I mean, we're seeing that pipeline work. We actually are gearing up for our return to the stage, and at the end of February, Rise is our trademark show.
Okay.
February 19th and 20th. You mentioned the Dance Theater of Harlem. One of the exciting things about it is that the Dance Theater of Harlem will be performing with us.
Oh my.
It's the first time DTH has been in Memphis for 5 years. The first time we'll perform together on stage. It's our return to the stage after 2 years. And so you'll see men at the top of their craft perform in the show. You'll see boys, you'll see girls. I mean, you see the full pipeline, but at the end of the day, you're going to see really excellent world-class art that I don't believe a lot of Memphians know exists right here in their backyard.
Man, you're not kidding. And I'll tell you this, man, kudos for what it is that you are doing. Not only for an entire generation of folks, but for a future pipeline to come. Now, for anybody who is interested in being a part of what you do at Collage Dance, give us all the information, telephone numbers, websites, the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely. And there's a myriad of ways that you can engage with us. So if you're interested in classes, we actually have a winter open house coming up February 26th. And so to get an invite to that open house, you can go to our website at collagedance.org or give us a call at 901-800-1873. As I said, our return to the stage is in about 4 weeks at the Cannon Center for the Performing Arts, February 19th and 20th.
Right.
Be able to see the company in action. I guarantee, again, we're creating work not for people who necessarily love ballet. We want to engage them too. But I'm looking for people. I'm looking for the truck drivers. I'm looking for the basketball players. I'm looking for the guys who think that ballet is not for them, that it's boring, that it's stuffy. I'm looking for them to come and see this art form and see, and to be transformed and inspired. And so that's what Rise is all about. It's really made for anyone.
Man, look, and there are a lot of examples of what you just said. There are a lot of professional athletes in football, basketball, and various sports who use ballet, who are trained classically in ballet to help them perform even better in the sports that they are proficient in. This is exciting to me, man. I'm really, really happy that you came on the show tonight. And
should we also, I'm sorry, not to
go.
What I forgot to mention is that we also have adult classes. So I would love to see you in adult class. We have adult ballet, we have Zumba, we have hip hop cardio, we have line dancing on Fridays. We have a full gamut of adult programming. So we want this new space. We invested about $10 million in Binghamton.
Yes.
And so we want this new space to really amplify this community, to really add vibrancy to our city, and to really get people moving and engage with what we feel is one of the most beautiful art forms on the planet.
All I can say to that is amen, my friend. And if it didn't hurt me just to stand on a regular basis, I'd come down there. But all seriousness aside, listen, all kidding aside, thank you so much, Marcellus, for coming on the show. And please keep us posted on any of the upcoming events or activities that you all have, or registrations and things like that. I want to stay in close contact with you because I believe so totally in what you're doing, because you're just helping you're helping an entire generation, and God bless you and all of the folks that work for Collage Dance. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you, Chip, and again, I appreciate people like you who are using your platform to help tell our story. So just nothing but gratitude. Appreciate it.
Man, thank you so much. Take care of yourself. I'm sure we'll be talking before the year's out.
All right, you too.
Yes, sir. Boy, that was, when you do stories like this, and when you hear about things like this, and you heard the passion of Marcellus to say, look, basically we have something for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter your gender. We have something for everybody. Let us get behind something like this. Let us get behind collage dance. Let us support it to the fullest. Let it be to where they can't take any more people because so many people are interested in it. And again, Rise comes in in February, that big performance that he talked about that is coming to town at the Cannon Center. We'll be talking more about that before it gets here. But thank you so much, Marcellus Harper, for coming on the show. We're going to take our final break. And when we come back, hopefully my good friend, Mr. Darrell Greene, who is the longtime news anchor at Fox 13 here in Memphis, will join us for a conversation. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. You know who you are. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
The Orpheum and WYXR invite you to an album listening party to celebrate the Memphis premiere of the Tony and Grammy Award-winning musical Hadestown. On January 28th from 6 to 8 p.m., stop by the WYXR HQ for a complimentary show-themed cocktail and listen to the original broadcast recording featuring music by celebrated singer-songwriter Anais Mitchell. RSVP at WYXR.org.
The Brooks is open in Overton Park. Home to Memphis art collection since 1916, the Memphis Brooks Museum of Art holds the largest collection of world art in the region, with more than 10,000 works spanning 5,000 years of art and cultures. Remember, every Wednesday is free and open until 8 p.m. They are a proud sponsor of WYXR. For more information about the museum and their exhibitions, visit brooksmuseum.org. You belong at the Brooks. Memphis Listening Lab proudly supports WYXR. They provide a curated collection of music and music history, a forum for music-related talks and performances, and a music education, appreciation, and experimentation space located in Crosstown Concourse. The lab is open Tuesday through Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can find out more information on their Instagram page at Memphis Listening Lab or on their website at memphislisteninglab.org.
The University of Memphis is proud to be a founding partner of WYXR. They've recently been named an R1 institution by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education, putting the U of M in the top tier of research universities nationally. This milestone solidifies the university as one of 2 flagship public institutions in Tennessee. More information at memphis.edu.
Russ College is now accepting applications for the fall 2022 semester. Located in Holly Springs, Mississippi, and just minutes away from Memphis, Russ College offers degree programs in business, education, math, science, and much more. Call 662-252-8000, extension 4043 for more details. Russ College hosts its Spring High School Preview Day, February 16, 2022. For more information, it's on our website at russcollege.edu. Russ College, where tomorrow's leaders are students today.
Memphis Listening Lab proudly supports WYXR. They provide a curated collection of music and music history, a forum for music-related talks and performances, and a music education, appreciation, and experimentation space located in Crosstown Concourse. The lab is open Tuesday through Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can find out more information on their Instagram page at Memphis Listening Lab or on their website at memphislisteninglab.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk. What happened? I don't hear myself. I don't hear anything. Can y'all hear me? I don't. Hang on just a second. I don't hear anything. Okay, Darrell is up there too, by the way. You can hear me, but I can't hear anything in my headphones. So I'm hoping that maybe we can. All right. Well, listen, I don't know what happened. I can't hear anything in my headphones, but hopefully I got it now. We got it now. Thanks. So listen, we were talking a few minutes ago about news in this town, and I'm proud to say I'm an alumnus of Fox 13, and I'm very happy to have with me right now. There he is, my man. He has been at Fox 13 for over a decade. You see him every day, Monday through Friday. He is the evening anchor. He is Mr. Darrell Greene. And Darrell, thank you so much for coming on Real Talk, man. I appreciate you. You got your audio? You're unmuted? Do you unmute yourself so we can hear you? Okay, he's still. All right. Well, we're working on that aspect of things. But listen, I want to. There he is, right there. Can you hear me? He's still muted. He's still muted. Okay. They keep telling me you're muted, my friend. I can see him, but I can't hear him just yet. I don't know what's going on. But while we effort to try to get him, and Darrell, you keep working on that thing. And if I hear you talking, man, we're gonna go ahead and move. We're gonna go ahead and get you in here. But I'm still kind of reverberating on this last interview that we had with Collage Dance and Marcellus Harper about this is the type of program that is so desperately needed in our city. Because it takes the focus and attention off of a lot of the negative news that we hear on a daily basis, and even that Darrell has to broadcast on a daily basis, and really focuses and accentuates the positive. This is something that really can change the face of what it is that Memphis is all about. Maybe we can be known for, we're known for a lot of different things, in arts and everything else, and culture and things like that, but with a program like this could take us to a whole new level. Darrell, you there? He's what now? Okay, he's connecting. Okay, we're vamping a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. But that's kind of how this thing goes. I'm a broadcaster by trade, so I can vamp. He said 1 minute. I think 1 second. But anyway, it's been a great show so far, and I'm gonna get him in here. We still have a little time on the clock, but time is moving a little fast here. That we can get Darrell on to see if we can't talk a little bit about local news and its impact on how we view things on a daily basis. Fox 13 is a station, of course, that has a big audience. I would say in big urban audience in particular. But how has news gathering changed? How has the process of news changed? How has how they do what they do in terms of stories, suggestions, and ideas? How does all that work? And everything like that. So, hey, Darrell,
you got me now?
I got you, my friend. You look sideways, but I don't know what happened with the angle, but you're side. There you go, my man. There he is, Darrell.
I've got an iPhone 2.
Yes, sir. So, he said, "I've got an iPhone too."
I mean, come on, man.
Hey,
the thing is telling me go to settings, and I'm like, I'm in settings.
Ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed news anchor from Fox 13, Darrell Greene, is joining us. My friend, how are you, sir? How you doing, man?
You all right?
Yes, I am, man, and thank you for taking some time to come on the show. I know how busy a fella you are. We're gonna jump into it while we have a few minutes here. So, you've been providing news to the Mid-South for well over a decade here at Fox 13. And as I said earlier, I don't know if you heard me or not, but I am an alumnus of that station as well. So I have a partiality toward the folks at Fox 13. Yes, sir, absolutely that. So D, first of all, you anchor all of the primetime coverage really from 5 o'clock on. Am I correct?
That is correct. 5, 6, 9, and 10. 5,
6, 9, and 10. And you've been here now how long? Over a decade, right?
It'll be 12 years in August.
12 years in August. Tell me, if you will, what goes into your day in terms of producing a newscast that folks, want to see. Now, you and I both know we're old news dogs, and we know, a lot of folks, may turn away from local news because of the content of news. But how do you go about setting up your day in terms of the content that you provide to thousands on a daily basis?
Let me comment first on the thing that you just said, because I get a lot of that. I get a lot of, I don't watch news because it's also negative.
Yeah.
To which I understand that to a point. I get it. And Chip, you've been there too. You don't like talking about the negative any more than I do.
Sure.
You get tired of talking about shootings.
Yeah.
You get tired of talking about poverty. You get tired of talking about blight.
Mm-hmm.
You're really tired of talking about COVID. But while national news and the national news landscape, in my opinion, over the past 2 decades has completely changed and turned into an entertainment industry, local news, by and large, in and of itself, outside of some editorials, which some stations still do, is still that. It's still news, and it's good, solid journalism, time in and time out.
Mm-hmm.
It's information you need. You need to know what's going on in your community. I'm sorry if it's by and large negative. If you think it's negative, change your community. Don't change your view.
Wow. Yeah. That's a very good point.
You can't look out a different window and hope that it's different. You just can't. That's not how the world works. So anyway, I'm off my pulpit now. As far as setting today, man, it's really, while it's intense work, it's not hard work. And I hope I'm saying that right. A lot of thought and a lot of diligence goes into preparing a news day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a managing editor. I'm not a news director. I'm a news anchor and I'm a reporter. I'm a journalist at heart.
Mm-hmm.
But I do get to play a role in shaping how the day goes as far as what we cover. I get a voice in that.
Yeah.
But by and large, here at Fox 13, it's done by a really solid committee. We have a news director, a managing editor, a content and control editor, and 2 executive producers in every meeting. And, reporters bring in stories and they go ABC, here are the stories I think we should cover, from my perspective and, going through my different beats and my worldview. We take the news of the day and you mash all that together and you formulate the day based on the substance. Because, we're not news makers. We're headline makers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do the headlines and we do, that's our job, is to distill this massive amount of information into what we decide should be put out there and should be put at the forefront.
Now,
so in my opinion, there's no such thing as bad news. There's only news. You're the one who has to determine if it's bad or good.
Wrap it up here with Darrell Greene, the longtime anchor at Fox 13 News, and I just want to ask you real quick, D, as we're about to get out of here, but I remember, and you do too, back in the day when news used to have a shut-off button. I mean, they used to actually just say goodnight, and actually several hours would go by, and then you start a day anew. Now we live in a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day news cycle. Is that just crazy or what? It is to me. It still is to me. I don't know. I mean, but that's where we are.
It is, but it's what society demands, because we're a 24/7, 365 society now, and that's all thanks to social media.
Yeah.
Personally, I think social media is one of the worst things that humanity has ever created because of the amount of disinformation that does get out.
Yeah.
There's some good that can be done with it with small businesses. Beyond that, I don't think social media has a place in society, and certainly not in journalism. I don't believe that the two can coexist. I don't believe social media and journalism should coexist. I think they both have their different channels and places.
Well, that is a very, very, I might have you back so we can have a longer conversation about all of this.
I'm so sorry for the technical problem.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. It's that.
Go back to iPhone 101 and learn how to use it.
Well, that iPhone 2 thing, you might want to rethink that. But but listen.
Yep.
No, my friend. We're going to have you back. But thank you so much for coming on. And I love what you said. Don't change the town. Change your community. That really is, that's a mouthful. We're going to jump into that a bit deeper next time I have you. But thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate you.
Anytime, and I'll set up 30 minutes ahead of time next time.
Okay. All right, Darrell. Thank you so much. Darrell Greene from Fox 13 News. He made it, and we had a good conversation, even in spite of the iPhone 2. But listen, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, as Lola plays us out for another wonderful, wonderful edition of Real Talk Memphis. And I see you all on there. There's so many people watching. My brother is actually watching us tonight. Linda Hardaway is, and Valerie Person is checking in as well. So many folks watching us tonight and checking the show out. Listen, if you have a show idea or you want to be a guest on this show, you better ask somebody. This is a pretty good show. And I hope that, you might want to come on and express your point of view, share some insights that maybe we didn't know, talk about your organization, your group, or just whatever you find interesting that I might find interesting. Thank you to Lola. Thank you to Jack. Thank you to Nicole. And thank you to everybody who is helping to make this show something worth listening to on Monday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on this fine radio station. So for all of us and for me, Chip, thanks again for a great, great show. I'm Chip, and we're out.